Okay, so we are going to be starting with the Fusion tax today. The way the taxes have been configured or should be configured in Fusion is you define the tax rules in the Fusion tax, whether it's applicable for invoices, whether it's applicable for the invoices in receivables or invoices in payables, and based on the rules that you have defined, the appropriate tax setup will get kicked off. And when you generate an invoice or when you generate a invoice in payables or in receivables, and your tax lines will get created. Now you have different ways of configuring the taxes. One is obviously manually that you can configure it. The other option is you can create them in an Excel sheet and then upload that Excel sheet into your Fusion application, just like we uploaded our ledger definitions, the enterprise structures. Similarly, you can define your Fusion tax setup and then upload that into the application. So today we will see how we can do that in the application, so that when we go and create anything, um, then the tax rules will get kicked in. Now, the other good thing about Fusion tax is there is something called as a simulator. A simulator is a tool that has been introduced in Fusion, where you can check whether the taxes that you have defined is correctly configured and it is getting you the desired results or not. If you need to make any changes, modifications, you can go back and modify it before you roll out the solution or before people start using that in their transactions. Because once those transactions are are using these taxes, then it becomes a bit difficult to have the transaction generated, or to go back and make changes to that invoice. So we'll see how we can do that. So let me just go into the application. So these are the normal spreadsheets, just like we did for our ledgers and all. So once we go to the search, we can search for using the keywords. Okay, so we can search using like rapid or tax or some keywords, spreadsheet. So those would be the keywords. So here you have different things. So if you scroll down, you will find the one for taxes. Okay, so here you have defined taxes for rapid implementation. Okay, so here you can see these are the different things that you need to, all the tax related setups are in one place. So you have these managed tax regime, the taxes, tax recovery rules, registrations, exemptions, and these are the simulator that I was telling you about. This is when you're doing it manually. Now, in case you are going to be doing it using the spreadsheet, in that case, okay, you can also go back there, and this is slight difference that Oracle has done here. Once you go into this taxes for rapid implementation, you can click one of them, and from there you will be able to download it. So let's say I go to manage tax regimes. So here you will see this rapid setup spreadsheets are there. So from here, you have the options to download and the option to upload also. Okay. So from the same place, you will be able to upload and download the spreadsheets. So first we will download the tax configuration workbook. In the tax configuration workbook, you will get the entire tax related setup in one single place. Okay. Then we save it. If you recollect the way the ledger worksheet was done was they would have an instruction page and then there would be separate tabs for doing individual tasks, right? So here also you have the complete thing done. Okay, all the tabs are defined, and then against that there is a first tab which has all the instructions on how to go about doing it. And then once you have done the definitions, you generate the files and then upload the files back into the application. So the first of the task that you have here is the Fusion applications tax transaction tax configuration workbook, which basically gives you a list of instructions, and it also has some sample data. Okay, tax setup may be driven by offline spreadsheet preparation, subsequent spreadsheet upload. Use the transaction tax configuration workbook, which includes the available configuration columns to populate your tax data and upload it into Oracle Fusion Tax. Prepare the required transactions in the offline mode. Okay. Now, after this, these are the supported versions. Excel, all the instructions are done. In case you don't see, you'd need to enable the macros. Okay, remember your macros has to be enabled. And then once you fill up the spreadsheet, you'd need to generate the CSV files. Okay, so once the CSV files are generated, then you load those files into the spreadsheets. Now these are the mandatory tasks, and there are certain instructions, recommendations. So required tasks and steps. So you have managed tax regimes, taxes, tax rates, tax recovery rates. So on the tax regime, so you will find each of them are defined in separate tabs. Okay, in case you find something is not visible but which is mentioned, so in that case you might be hidden, in which case you go and check whether it is hidden or not. So you see there are certain spreadsheets which are hidden. So just unhide them. Okay. And okay. So if you want to start with, let's say, these ones, so you can start with the regime. Typically, the flow is the regime is at the top. Regime will have taxes. Taxes will have rates. Rates will have the different, you know, the exceptions or rules, or what different, how the rates apply and stuff like that. Okay, so to start with this, we will first we can have our own regime also defined. So what we could do is we could just pick all this up, and So after you have defined your regime, will go and define the taxes. So whatever is there, these are all sample data which has been given for your reference. In case you want to use any of that, you can use that. Or what you could do is you can come here and tax regime. So once you pick up the tax regime code, then we can fill up the taxes. So let's say you want to have a country, state, and a city type of code. So we'll define this as country. So whatever is mandatory, those things we can fill up here. So this is a country level one. So you have a rounding rule. So we can say nearest tax exemption source. Now, whether it's recoverable or not, recoverable is like, you can set it off against the tax that you are paying. So usually VAT and GST kind of taxes are the ones that you can recover against what taxes you are paying. So in that case, it would be recoverable. So wherever there are drop downs, you can pick from the drop down. Um,
Saurabh,
yes.
yeah, this is Ashish. So I just want to understand. I mean, see, we have to here take each and every drop down and select. So is there any way that like Oracle suggests something like this is the standard way of
Yeah, we
values are
had that
available?
sample data, na?
Okay, there it will. Okay, there it will be.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if you see here, they have given in the instructions, they have mentioned also that there is sample data. Okay.
Accordingly, we have to move push it. Okay.
Yeah. Just to give you idea, lot of times we don't know, what exactly is required, what is expected
Correct.
there.
Correct.
No,
Correct.
that's true. So that's why they have populated that. I deleted it. Maybe I should not have deleted, just inserted
Okay.
one row. So,
Okay. Okay.
and if it's not mandatory, we just put in the don't put anything. unless it is essential. So once the taxes are done, then we go through the tab by tab, basically. If we have more things to set up, for example, we have a, let's say we want to use something else, or we want some other types also. In that case, we can define more over there. So on the rates tab, we'll have deleting it. It just it removes the references. So just be careful about that. So that will have to come from the tax. So it's a standard one, and here again you have a drop down. So wherever there is a drop down, we'll have to just pick it from there. And here, if you bring, wherever you see these online help, wherever you see these comment tags, so there are explanations also. If you want to understand each of these fields, then you can just bring your cursor and it gives explanations. So that's also helpful. Set as default rate, yes or no, one of them will have as default. Okay, so once these are done, then we'll have to, if you follow the instructions here, it says generate the CSV file. So we click on this. So it will save the tax configuration workbook, the entire file. Okay, so once this is done, the next step is to upload the taxes file. We can either save this, we can save it here so that you will have the original file. And the other thing, okay, let me first upload, and then we upload the tax configuration workbook. Browse for the file. So this is the .zip, the one that we will upload. Then we click on upload. Now, while this is happening, let me just show you the file that gets created. So you will find this is the tax configuration data.csv that has been generated. Okay, so I have the tax configuration workbook. I go inside this. This is the tax configuration data. Okay, one single file which has all the data in CSV format.
Uday, keep that song which you gave to that Tamanna song. He will enjoy. Keep that song, Tamanna song. He will enjoy. Tamanna song, Uday.
Madam, your mic should be off, no, madam. Otherwise, he will also listen Tamanna song.
My son is torturing me. I say sorry.
We all will get distracted.
Actually, he came here, so I told the elder one to take him and keep song. That's it.
It's a challenge for the kids always. So this is where the tax rate validations, this is only place where it has uh, failed. So it's not subscribed to the tax regime and all that. So what you can always do is, if you see here, we have the tax regimes. So if you remember, I had put the tax regime name as SP. So my SP US regime has got uploaded. So if I go into the regime and I want to edit, I have to enable access to the business units to which these will be available. Okay, so this is the entire tax regime setup, and right at the bottom these are the configuration options. So I have to edit, I have to put it in edit mode. Then we'll have to put in the details. So what part of the application, or how is it, how are the, or to which um, part of the application this will apply? So you have all the different business units here. Okay, and you can also have the different legal entities or business units. Based on that, these taxes will become applicable. So let's say I want to put US1 business unit. So okay, US1 business unit. So here configuration, this we want common configuration, and the date one. Okay, so once this is done, yeah, any other units that we want to add here, we can keep on going and adding different business units for which all this will be applicable. So we can then save and close. Okay, so now the tax regime part is done. So we'll have to enable the taxes for simulation. So for that, we'll have to go to the manage taxes. So if I go to this tax now, so you will find on the right hand side here, there are two checkboxes. One is enable tax for simulation, one is enable tax for transaction. Till you allow it for transactions, these will not be applicable for your transactions. Okay, so first what you could do is you could first enable the tax for simulation, check whether everything is fine or not, and then you can go and enable the tax for transaction. But be very careful, once you do this for transactions and there are transactions, this will get automatically kicked off based on the rules that are applicable.
So Saurabh, is it similar to EBS, and it's a global regime configuration, not BU wise, right?
Correct. No, but here you can attach it to the BU and you can say these are applicable for specific BUs.
So the BUs can be linked with that. If not, then globally it will work for all,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can go legal entity wise also. So it will be applicable for the entire legal entity.
Where did you attach the BU here in this SPUS regime?
Okay, let me go back and show you that again. Under the tax regime, at the bottom, there was one section where we had that party name.
Saurabh, when we say enable text for simulation means we can do the test transaction, right?
Correct.
What is enable
Correct.
simulation?
Yes, there is a separate screen for simulation where you can go and enter that data and then have that simulation done.
Okay.
Saurabh, how do we mention the recovery? Recovery 0% and 100%? In the text rule setups or somewhere
Yes,
in the
so
text setup?
when we were defining the taxes, it asked you whether that tax is recoverable or not.
Okay. Saurabh, is instance again slow, or we are not getting the live screen
No,
rotation?
it gets slow.
You defined something heavy, huh, regime?
Getting slow implies it's due for a refresh now. There is no value there. Oh, so all this is now done. So we'll save and close this. Oh, this is where they will be applicable.
So Saurabh, here I can see the option order to cash, procure to pay expenses. What about the GL? In the JV, we can apply the taxes. Would it be independently handled by GL itself, or would it be reflected from this tax setup?
No, it won't be reflected from here.
So it's managed separately in GL now, huh?
Correct.
Okay, so we do need to define again the tax rates and regimes in the GL, or simply the tax regime would be fetched from here, but the tax rate to be defined in the GL.
Actually, if you look at the way taxes, even the accounting and all that can flow from subledger, right? So your taxes ideally should come from subledger only,
Right.
right? So it will take care of all your taxes. In the event that sometimes what happens, one or two entries get missed out in the subledger during the closing. So in that case,
Hmm.
if you are putting in any transactions, the understanding usually is whatever you will put in this month, you will reverse it in the next month in GL and then actually put it in the subledger in the next month to ensure your subledger and your GL remain in sync. So when you're putting it in subledger, you will actually kick off the taxes again.
No, but yeah, ideally it should be from subledger. Sometime, for example, if I talk about the bank charges during reconciliation, bank charges are identified, which are never invoiced in
Correct.
subledger. So
Correct.
we are booking JV. So there is a VAT or tax on bank charges itself. So normally
So-
we do book in JV and get it
Correct.
taxed
Correct.
in GL
Correct.
itself.
Correct.
For
So-
those instances, I am asking that.
Yes. So in those instances, see, one option is there is an option now in cash management where you can create manual transactions in cash management, okay, to take care of these bank charges and miscellaneous charges that are there. And the second one is if you are putting it in GL as a JV, in that case, you would have a separate line maybe as a tax, which will have to be manually enabled.
Okay. Okay, and I can see in the property manager, normally we do have provision in Oracle EBS to default the tax rate at lease level or building level and all in the terms also, payment terms. So when you say order to cash, or would it be available in property manager as well? I think there is no property manager module in Fusion now, right?
I'm not very sure of the property manager. I haven't used it. Okay.
Hmm.
So I don't
Okay.
know about property manager. I think there's some other issue here.
I think sort of the sequence of defining setups is same as EBS, like text,
Yes,
regime,
yes, it
jurisdiction,
is the
text.
same. Correct.
Yeah.
It is the
But
same.
the only look and feel is changed. A few things have been embedded in text regime form itself in the form of tabs, and few are independent forms, pages. Sorry.
In fact,
Okay. Do we have the
entire-
same thing? Condition sets and text determination factors as well.
Yes, similarly, in fact, most, if you see toward, this is my personal thought process, okay, it's not validated by anyone in Oracle, but I think whatever they were trying in Fusion, they probably tried that on R12 first. So a lot of these later features you will find, like these roles or, the taxes, EBT and, EB taxes that was there, they were very similar to what we are seeing in Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Okay.
there in EBS also. You could enable the roles, right? So
Maybe it is the latest release because the version we are using, it's not having this role concept. Maybe in the latest release of 12.9 or
no,
10
it
is.
was there many years ago. If you go through the system administration
Mhm.
responsibility, you can see there. You can go and enable your roles and stuff like that.
Mhm. Okay.
So they tried their coding skills on eBiz taxes
Mm.
first, on the e-business suite first.
Mhm.
Hmm. So one by one. So we'll have to just sit down and take care of these one by one. But this is basically how we do it. Let me just show you, by showing you the simulator. Uh, so here you have your managed simulator transactions. So when you are trying out something, you would be creating one. So you have your create option. You can search for just like any other page. Initially, this section is for searching, and then
So Saurabh, so the purpose of simulator means we can test some transaction and identify if any issues in the configuration, right?
exactly. So you have the different types of typical types of transactions. So let's say I want a purchase invoice, and which legal entity? Let's say US1 legal entity and business unit, US1 business unit, and, document number. So this would be the name of the supplier. So you can pick on any supplier from there, and ABC or advanced. Okay. So now we have the site as well. So depending on what lines you want to put in. Mm, so invoice. Quantity, unit price, amount is mandatory.
So are we entering here line by line invoices, or it is what? How it is?
Yeah, you can enter multiple if you have, like, for one customer, you have multiple invoices that you want to try out, you can.
And what is there in the line class? Okay. So this is basically we can create multiple, I mean, two same
Types.
invoice numbers. Okay.
Hmm.
So Saurabh,
So-
in one invoice, we can make two line, one of standard and one of prepayment. Can we do that?
Over here, this is just for testing purposes, right? So
Yes, yes.
this will not create the actual transaction.
No, but I am asking, can we do that in Fusion in
No,
one
no,
invoice?
no.
But why it is showing as then standard and then prepayment and then credit memo?
See
As a
here,
line
what
type.
they are doing is they are basically trying to show you that, if you want to test. So suppose you want to test for prepayment and standard, that means you have to enter two invoices.
Mhm.
Okay, then users will be complaining why I have to enter too many lines.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
So here you have this view tax line. So once you click on this, as per the applicable taxes, it is supposed to, so evaluate taxes enabled for simulation. So the corresponding tax lines are supposed to get generated. So here the corresponding taxes are supposed to show up. Okay, and here you should see the tax lines, and there is another one which shows you the tax rules that were evaluated, which basically runs through what are the rules that get kicked up once you enter this simulation. So view tax rules evaluated. Probably nothing has got enabled here. Let me just check 1 minute. These are the only 4 things that are enabled right now. Uh, so it should have shown up. What are the taxes? I'm just trying to check if there is any other one where it is not enabled for transactions, but if we can enable it for simulation. This is also enabled for taxes transactions. Oh, I think I didn't click this.
Saurabh, what do you think? How long will it take?
Yeah,
Like
we
that
should.
document?
We are almost done. Once this rate comes in, okay.
Hmm.
So this is the corresponding tax lines that got created. Okay. The tax point basis is the invoice, taxable amount is 2000. So whatever rules, whatever tax rates that you are going to be using, accordingly, the tax lines will get created. Okay. And these are the rules. So what are the rules and how it came in? So here it says result type manually enter and things like that. So it will take you through the rules that have been evaluated by the tax. Okay. So you can check whether things are okay or not, or if any changes are required, and anything else that you need to configure on this. So which is like, before you enable anything, because once you enable and then wrong taxes or wrong things get calculated, then it's a problem, right? So before you can enable, you should simulate it, check it out, and then go back, and the next step would be to enable the checkbox enable for transactions. So till you do that enable for transactions, system will not use it for your transactions. Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, then we'll stop here today. So next we'll meet on Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, Saurabh, I joined quite late. Can you please quickly wrap up the initial part of this session today? Have we covered the EB tax completely, or we just started today?
No, I think EB tax we covered all. What we did was we created the spreadsheet. Okay.
Hmm.
So we downloaded the spreadsheet, and then we uploaded, filled in the spreadsheet, uploaded the transaction, the tax related setups, and then we configured anything else that was not there manually. So how we did that was we went to search, and let the screen come.
So what is our subject of next class?
Next class will be going into invoices in payables.
Okay.
So here you can see the tax regime. So when you click on manage tax regime, so when you look at the recording, you will find that this is where we started. So once you search for rapid, you search for the word rapid, you will get this defined taxes for rapid implementation. So within that you have tax regime. Once you click on it, you have this rapid setup spreadsheets. Okay, so initially when you are doing the entire thing from scratch, you would be doing this download tax configuration workbook and download and then upload it back. So once you download, it will present you with this spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet, just like the one we had for ledger or for the common entities, you will have find the first tab is for instructions, which has detailed instruction about how to go about doing it, what are the steps, and it also presents you with sample data.
Okay.
So through the sample data, you can use that to guide you through how your taxes should look like, and then you can create your own stuff. So this is the cost tax configuration workbook. So it gives you step-by-step sample data and what to do and preparing the data and then enabling macros in case you don't have it enabled. And once all your taxes, so you will notice initially the regime one is hidden. So anything that you want to unhide but you want to use, so tax regimes and taxes by default they are hidden, so you can enable them. Okay, and then you populate the details, and once you're done with this, you can generate your CSV file. Okay. So once you generate your CSV file, system will create a zip file like this. Okay.
Got it.
So that zip file, you will then have to upload it back into the application using that that upload option that we had here. So you click on upload tax configuration, and then you browse and system will then upload it.
Okay.
So any
I can see
issues that you have, it will flag you. It will explain you what is missing or what is needs to be done to complete.
I can see withholding tax is also mentioned here. So
Yeah.
what does it mean that it has been withdrawn from payables manager?
It is there, but you can you define this withholding as part of the Fusion taxes also, I believe.
Okay. So for that, can you click on that once? Withholding tax? Not here on top. Right, left top.
Oh, this one. So you're searching for the withholding taxes.
Okay.
So you can do transaction taxes or withholding taxes.